Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to another video and thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, for those who are new here or tuning in for the first time, of course you are most welcome. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please remember to do so. And also don't forget to give this video a like and also to leave your comment on the comment section down below. So today's video is gonna be actually a Q&A because people have been asking me so many questions about my German learning journey and experience, and I just wanted to answer a few questions in this video. And in case you have any other question that I will not have tackled maybe in this video, then of course feel free to leave your comment in the comment section down below. So on to question number 1, and the question was that, did I learn German before applying for a visa? And the answer is yes. And whether that was necessary or not, I can't really tell. But what I know is that I had a German level A1 certificate from Goethe Institute, and I attached that to my application, and I suppose it helped to back up the fact that I wanted to come advance my German learning. And of course the other question, which should be now question number 2, is that how was I able to learn German on my own, because I mentioned in my previous video that I never attended any German class, but I ended up enrolling or registering for an exam and I passed with an 85%. So yeah, how I went about it was actually using online resources, and you will be surprised how possible that is, because whenever people think about a foreign language, they're like, oh, languages are not just my cup of tea. And I suppose, yeah, it might be easier for some people. I do know that I have a flair for languages, but I am in class with so many people that are just learning for the purposes of learning, and the struggle is real, even for me, but we learn as we move forward. So what happens is that once you start learning a foreign language, it's actually like you're in nursery school. Everything will be taught from scratch. You learn the alphabet, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. You learn how to say what your name is, simple daily conversations like greetings, how are you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You will learn articles, tenses, adjectives, adverbs, and these things will become, of course, more complex as you go higher up the level, but definitely don't expect to start with complicated terms or complicated things at a lower level. So if you're up for it, of course, then you just have to start. And I understand, for people who might want to enroll into a school in Nairobi, it is not that simple. First of all, it's very expensive, because I think for every level it costs around 39,000. And I think that is one of the main reasons why I chose not to attend class. And yeah, so that's a lot of money. And the second challenge is that it's not easy to secure a place, from what I understand. And I'm not sure how true that is, because I've never really tried to enroll to a class, that you have to do it, you have to begin from the beginning of the year, like in January, and then you advance as you go, or maybe that applies to level 1. I really don't know, but in any case, don't take my word for it. If you are interested in, of course, maybe going for classes, you can just check with the institution. So of course, for me, I used mostly YouTube, because the only difference between a teacher-led class is that maybe you are able to interact, and in case you have a difficulty, then you are able to ask questions. But with German classes online, the teacher will explain. They'll basically explain everything, and of course some things might be technical, maybe because you cannot ask questions, but you can Google. If you Google, you might find even some explanations in English. So that's one method that you can use. And somebody asked me to recommend a site or maybe a YouTube channel that is suitable for level 1 or for beginners. And there is this lady called Anya, and Anya is written like A-N-J-A, like Anja. Anya, it's pronounced as Anya, because J is actually yacht in German. So you can check out her videos, and they, of course, they start from lesson 1, and there are more than 100 lessons, and I think each lesson lasts somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes. So they are very short videos that just tackle one thing at a time as you progress. So definitely, if you're somebody who is considering like maybe learning a new language, even if you're not planning to like travel to a German speaking country at the moment, you can check her out, and you'd never know how your interest will spark up from that video. So another way, and of course this one I didn't use for German, I used this one to learn Spanish, and also it helped with French because I already had a book called Teach Yourself French, and I think eventually I went to the bookshops in Nairobi and bought one called Teach Yourself Spanish. And the good thing about these books is that they have the explanation in English. So there will be like German sentence on one side, and then on the other side there is like an English interpretation of it or explanation. So of course I know that those books exist in most major languages, so you can visit also one of the bookshops and just buy that book called Teach Yourself, because it's structured to help you actually teach yourself. So you can check that out. So basically those are the ways and the means that I have been able to teach myself like the few languages that I speak, and that is like polishing my French, learning Spanish, and also learning German. And I can tell you for a fact that the class that I joined is actually a B1 class. The one that I joined here before ever attending any class was a B1 class. And of course my challenge at first was expressing myself, but I could clearly understand everything that the teacher was asking. If she was like asking a question or whatever, I could understand because of the match that I had already built, the foundation that I had already laid with the language. And of course, I must say this again, like learning a language doesn't just involve reading. You have to speak, and of course you'll ask yourself, whom will you speak to if you don't have like German speaking people around you? And what might surprise you is that you can actually speak to yourself. You start to think in German. Of course, as you build vocabulary, as you know like how to say this and that and those, as you build your vocabulary, start using the little vocabulary that you have to think in German and to speak to yourself in German. I mean, you can just say like, okay, oh, this morning I want to do this, I want to do that, and afterwards I will do this and that, depending on what you've already learned. And then as you build in on that, it really helped me with French until I became fluent speaking to myself. And I passed level C1, like I got a C1 in French. And when I started like practicing the French, I couldn't even make a sentence, maybe very simple A1 sentences. Those ones are the ones that I could make, and I eventually was able to pass and to get even the speaking section level 5 without having to go to school again. So I'm just trying to emphasizing the fact that it's possible. The other thing that you have to do is to listen to a lot of like audios, or maybe even watch videos, but according to your level. So if you're a beginner level, you can watch like videos, German videos for level A1, and those videos can maybe have subtitles in English or subtitles in German. It will not be easy at first, but as you advance, you'll notice that you are understanding and you don't even have to rely on the subtitles. There are so many ways, and in any case, just Google also how to teach yourself German and you'll find more information online. So on to the next question. Of course, this one I've already answered, like which sites did I use to learn like German for level A1. And basically, I just have to add the fact that I actually taught myself also level 2, although I never got to do a test for that. And how I went about doing level 2 is that I went to Goethe Institute and I spoke to one of the soldiers to find me a student that is in the like advanced classes that has the course book, because if you join if you enroll for a class, you have to also pay for a course book, and you'll find that once you're done with level 2 or level 1, you don't need your course book anymore. So I got one student to sell me. I think I bought the books at 2,000 shillings if I'm not wrong, and that was the course book and the Ahmed's book, and that is like the course book and the workbook, you know, that the exercise book, the book that has like several exercises that you can actually like practice with. And the books also come with audio CDs, and I believe also a DVD, but for some reason the DVD couldn't play, but the audio CD worked very well. So that is also something that you can do. If you don't know, like somebody who is in Goethe Institute, you can speak to the soldiers. They will connect you to a student, and then you can buy the book from them at a cheaper price, because if you buy the book from the school and you're not a student, they cannot sell it to you. Unfortunately, it's not possible. So you can buy from a student. That's also another way. You can also buy like a level A1 book, and once you complete the book, then you will know that you have completed that level. You have learned all the vocabulary in that level, and in any case, any question that will be asked during the exam regarding that level, which you've already basically covered, then you'll be able to pass your exam. So that is also something that you can do. I did not do that for level A1, and I found that during the test, maybe there are some vocabulary that I was missing, maybe how to say like a suitcase in German, and I think those are things that I was learning the very last minute just before the test, but I still got to get my 85%, and I must say I passed way better than the people that went to school for 4 months. And I only like taught myself from like, let's say, October and November, and I took my test in December. So the other question was that to what level did I learn German by myself? Of course, I learned German up to level B2. I must say I also started learning level C1. There's some material that of course I was able to download online, but that got lost with my laptop, and right now I cannot even tell you which site I used, but somehow I was able to download an entire book for level B1, and I went through most of the courses. So let's say up to level B1, but I never got examined for those levels, and I think that is why I'm basically able to understand the things that we are being taught in class now, because I already have prior knowledge. But it's just that now, because the teacher is explaining them, I get to understand them better, especially when it comes to the cases. If you've learned German, you know how crazy that is. The cases like the dative, the accusative, the nominative, and the genitive, they can be very confusing. But I think once the teacher has explained them over and over again, because I think we get to do something regarding this like cases, at least in every lesson. So yeah, that has been helpful. And then the other question, and this should be question number 4, was that, was my visa interview conducted in German? And the answer is no. And I believe maybe if you are enrolling for maybe a school where you're, especially the student visa, the longer visas where your course is actually going to be run in German, then maybe your visa interview might be in German. But in that case, I don't have that experience. What I can say for sure is that my visa interview was conducted purely in English. And then the other question, number 5, was, did I get my documents translated to German prior to the visa interview? And this person was of course talking about my CV that I did not present, and cover letter. Of course, I did have a cover letter, and it was purely in English, so I didn't have any document translated in German, because I think the official languages in German are English, in German, and then next to it is English. So if your documents are in English, German, or French, most of the time you might not necessarily have to translate them unless you've been instructed to do that. So the question number 6 was like, how much did I pay for my language course? And I think that is a question that I've seen over and over again. I actually paid around 953 euros. I don't remember very well, but consider the fact that that was after a 50% discount. There was like a 50% discount running during that time, and of course this 953 was to cover 3 levels. But because I was somebody who was applying from a country that requires like a visa to be issued, I had to pay an extra 200 euros for them to send me a hard copy of the enrollment letter or the invitation letter or something like that, whichever way you want to put it. So that cost me an extra 200 euros. So roughly I'll say that I spent almost 150,000 Kenya shillings to pay the fees and also to pay for visa processing documents. And my current level, the other question was my current level, what I can say. And it's funny the way the lessons are conducted in the school that I am in right now, because I joined the class to learn, like to study level A2, but you find that we are learning, like we are mixed, we are combined, people that are in level A2 and level B1, basically you're in the same class. And once you feel like you have learned most of the things or you understand most of the things in that particular class, then you can communicate to the school and move to the next class. So right now, if I feel like, okay, I'm strong enough, I think I understand most of the things that we are learning and I'm basically just repeating myself, then I can go to level B2. But of course, I am not gonna do that, at least for this remaining like this month, or maybe up to somewhere in towards the end of February. Then I will move to level B2, because basically I applied to do level A1, B2, A1, no, A2, B1 and B2. And yeah, so the class that I'm in right now, we are A2, B1. It's an intermediate class, and I've not done any test for level A2, I've not done any test for level B1, because I find that it's not necessary, unless I really want maybe to use the certificate for some reason. Then I can simply communicate to the school again and tell them to set up an exam for me. I do it, I pass, then they issue a certificate. So that's basically how it goes. But I must say, because I actually asked the teacher that question and he said I can confidently say that you are a level B1 student. So yeah, that's my level. And then the question number 9 was, do I interact with my classmates outside of class? And yeah, that's a very interesting question, because my classes, of course, I told you guys before that I changed to like online classes, and that means that online people can join from whatever part of the world. And I've had like classmates from Australia, America, Romania, Albania, Dubai, Syria, Afghanistan, Israel. Like, we are so diverse. And of course you also have some students that are right here in Germany. So that is just basically how it is. And I must say that the answer is no. I really have no interactions with the students outside of class, except for the fact that I think during my second week there's a Ugandan lady that joined the class, and I was so excited. Like, that was the second person from like Africa, you know, the black skin, that joined that class. So I felt like, yeah, I have a sister. And me, shamelessly, because we use Zoom, I wrote a private message in chat and I was like, hey Miriam, can I please have your number? So yeah, that is really nice. She's a person that I actually interact with outside of class, and we can talk about anything and everything, because she's also in German, in Lower Saxony, I don't know how to say that. Yeah, so that's the person that I interact with, that I can actually confirm which page the homework was in case I forgot, or in case I failed to attend a certain class. Then I would, of course, like that. And last but not least, yes, the question is, how is it going with the German learning? It's going okay. The classes are very interactive and fun. Like, you never really know how the 3 hours like go by, just like that. So we have like 2 teachers. Monday and Tuesday it's like a female teacher, and then Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, at least for the class that I'm currently in, is a male teacher. And they all have their different ways of teaching, but of course it's definitely more fun with the male teacher because of just their method of teaching. But in any case, the classes are nice. Sometimes there are more students in the class, sometimes there are less students in the class, but the classes go on anyway. And I must say that the maximum I've ever seen people in that class is like 9. Sometimes we are like 4, 6, just depends with like if people have like other engagements. But basically it's going well. I have improved a lot. At least I understand the cases like the dative, accusative, whatever that is, the relative, the pronouns, the adjectives, all those things I understand. And I just find that yeah, there is usual value for money, and I couldn't have it any other way. And the most important thing I know is that never miss a class. If you miss a class, then you just miss a lot that you might not have time to recover unless you're a very disciplined student who will go back and go through the work. But what happens is that we have like scripts. Once we finish one script, then we will be sent another script in PDF form. So right now we have like, I don't know, we are in script number 5, and I'm telling you, I don't know, maybe before I decide to sit an exam, I'll have to like be away from class for an entire week and just make sure I go very quickly through like every script, which every script has like 40 something, 60 pages, so it's a lot. But yeah, basically the learning is going fine from 9 to 12, and then you have your life. So thank you so much you guys for watching, and that is just like my German language journey and experience, and all the questions that I could remember and that I could answer in this video. And I hope you found it interesting and informative. And in case there is any other thing that you would like to know, don't hesitate to ask in the comments down below, and I will see you on another video. Tschüss!